Okay, the last thing I want to discuss today is the Sunday paper assembly. So this looks like perhaps a table that you'll be set up on with your Sunday sections. What I want to highlight first is how important it is to get set up properly. And specifically, what that means is whether it's 2 sections or 4, what you want to make sure you have in front of you is a bundle of roughly equal height of each of the sections that you're going to have to put together. And if one is thicker than another, you could always reload as necessary as that pile gets lower. But you want to have a setup that looks like this, that enables you to move through as efficiently as possible. So a couple things to keep in mind. One is to put the spines of the paper all in the same direction. Okay, you want them all facing. If you're left-handed like me, you're going to want to move toward the spine, ending in the final section of the paper that we can stuff it into. If you're right-handed, it would be the exact opposite. Okay, but you want the paper's spines to be in alignment so that not only does it make it easier when you go to fold and throw, that there's a consistency to the paper, but also it presents a better product to the customer because everything is facing the same direction. Okay, so I'm trying to mimic here what we have, a 4-section paper, and while it's important to get all the sections in, it's not important to the customer or anybody that we put one section inside the other. So instead what we're going to do is just what I call stack, stack, stack stuff. So we take 1, 2, 3, open, stuff, okay? And then what we're going to briefly do is take the completed paper, bang it out like that, stack it here. Again, in the same direction. 1, 2, 3. Stuff, fix it, stack it. 1, 2, 3. Stuff, stack it. So now what I have is a stack of 3 completed papers. Again, everything facing in the same direction. What we can do, depending on the size of the paper, is create a stack of 10, perhaps even a stack of 15 or 20, and then set about loading that into the car, loading it into your cart, whatever your next step in the operation is, given where your depot is. One last comment about this and about how bagging the Sunday paper is different from the weekday. My recommendation is that, of course, we have the bigger bags on Sunday. This is the daily bag, but you'll get the point. Is that when we take the paper, rather than the traditional method of folding it there, folding it here, flipping it over, and putting the bag over, which I showed in a different video, what I would recommend here is that we take, and again, maybe because I'm left-handed, but I would take, hold it with my right hand like this, again with the headline facing out, swipe it with my left hand real quick to get any creases out, fold it over in half like that, lengthwise, grab it again with the left hand, and then otherwise proceed as normal. Grab the bag, stuff it in like this. So again, it's a daily bag, so it's going to be a little tighter. But what this allows us to do is to avoid having to fold against the spine, which is much more difficult to do on Sunday than it is during the week. And also, we still get a nice tight fit in the paper. In the bag, and we get the headline facing out. So if we do grab a paper out of the car, we can know instantly what paper it is before, and we can double check that before we throw it. But then otherwise, the throwing would maintain a similar fashion. Of course, it's bigger. We might not be able to throw it as far, but the principles would remain the same whether it's throwing out this side or it's throwing over the car. Okay? Thank you very much, and good luck out there.